Man has the ability to organize, think rationally, retain something in the form of language, and recollect it from memory to make decisions when needed. Also, he can store knowledge in the form of written language, read the knowledge that has already found and understand it through language. Human groups were created by language. When those groups lived together, taboos, customs, and rituals, and rules and regulations were developed. You know what taboos are? Customs are the things which you should do in a group. Taboos are the things which you shouldn't do in a group. Therein, written and oral forms of language played a vital role in transmitting them from generation to generation. Language was the reason for the creation of various cultural groups in the human society. Based on the cultural features that were specific to particular groups, various races were formed. Races, in turn, demarcated their territories, paving way for the creation of countries. Now, this is a process. Language create groups. First of all, two people meet. Both of them have the same language. So they become a group. Then they collect more people. Those people also become a group. Group become a village. Villages become a country. Race, one language, one race. Sinhala language, Sinhala race. English language, English race. The power of a country is decided by the technology and economic development resulted from its knowledge generation. Creative thinking is the key to such a development process. The pinnacle of the creative use of language is creative thinking. The inherited creativity of language produced the norms and styles inherent to the written language. Writer unique and media specific language uses were formed as well. Writer unique, that means there's a specific language for writers. Media specific language for radio media, specific language for television media. In television, they use more visuals than the language. In radio, they don't have visuals. Everything they have to recreate in the receiver's mind using the language. The basis for such a development was the possibility of using a language imaginatively and creatively. Reader groups were developed along with creative writing. A generation of writers were born too. Language as a medium facilitated the historic extension of the legacy of human thoughts. Language served a major purpose for writers and readers alike with its inherent creativity. Creative literature such as novel, short story, and poem were developed, and philosophy, political thought, and religious diversity were spread rapidly as a result of creative language, becoming a popular media among the common man at the early stages. The use of creative language. That's another topic. Wait, that thing, okay. Language is the most powerful creative expression of man. It is created by man with the use of creative skills. Different cultures in the world created different languages. Those languages shape the contours of the culture, and creativity of their respective societies. The diverse use of language is prominent, especially in the arts. The creativity of language is built upon speaking, listening, writing, and reading. According to the primary definitions of creative language, all the characteristics of language is considered creative. Language is shaping its contours according to the medium is a highly complex phenomenon. Broadcasting is based on sound and audibility. The connection between the auditory organ and the mind is of utmost importance in this respect. It's a very intricate process. By means of audibility, concepts and or incidents are created through language. In print media, the basis is the written language, while visual images are used as well. Novels, short stories, newspapers, they use visual images also. The creative nature of different combinations used in different print media has to be studied as per the purpose. Television language is considered as an extension of audio and visual languages. This is because the television is developed not as an extension of the cinema, but as an extension of the radio. That's a very important point. Television is not an extension of the cinema. Television is an extension of the radio. Depending on the type of item, creative language strategies are used in the television medium. It is important to study the creative genesis, nature of the television language, such as the realistic approach in teledrama and the psychological approach in advertisements. Image is considered as the language of cinema, while editing is regarding the grammar. Cinematic language is considered as an extremely powerful, creative semantic. New media use creative language approaches in more subtle ways than before in communication. The technological know-how as a necessity is significant in the creative language used in modern media. The basic purpose of creative language is to communicate the message creatively using language. They are in written, verbal, non-verbal, visual, and oral. Communication modes are used. Next topic, newspaper and the use of creative language. Print media was discussed. Okay. The main purpose of mass communication is served by newspapers. Therefore, it is important to examine the newspaper and its creative features. The newspaper language is considered of text and images. Main two things, text and images. The language of newspaper consists of text and image. The text means the use of written language. The making of a text is visible in the news, features, and advertisements. News is one thing, feature is another thing. In a news, they ask only 5 questions. Who, what, when, where, why? What are the 5 questions?
Who, what, when, where, why?
Why? Who? Anura Disanayaka. What? Did a conference. When? 24th of February 2024. Where? In London. Why? To propagate his political ideology. That's all. That's all you have to write in the news. But feature has another 2 questions. Another one question. How? How? That question is answered in feature articles. News article is one thing. Feature article is another thing. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes. There had been heavy rain in Panadur area since last May. People in that area are affected by that. All the questions are answered. Who? People in the area. What? Because of rain. Why? Why? Because of rain. What? Heavy rain. When? Since last May. Where? Panadur area. But a feature article about, regarding the rain in Panadur area may have a creative language. Newspaper usually doesn't have a creative language. It is some kind of creative, grammatically creative. But